Claus, Indiana. It's the IU Press Elves here with Emily Wiesner-Thompson and Pat Cook, the authors of our new IU Press book, Letters to Santa Claus, written by, of course, the Elves. And today we have all the IU Press employees here, and we are answering letters to Santa Claus. So, Emily, can you tell me a little bit about the operation?
Sure. We have volunteer elves who come in every year and help Santa answer all the letters that come to Santa Claus, Indiana. It's a busy place. We've got a room full here, and we welcome the elves every day, almost all day, between now and December 22nd.
That's great. And Mrs. Cook, how long have you been doing this?
Oh, goodness. I guess continually since about 1960, which would be over 50 years. I did it when I was a child from the time I was about 12 until I left home, which was I was 19. So, you know, add it all up, 60 years probably.
Can you tell us a little bit about your dad?
My dad was Santa Claus. He was Santa's chief helper. He started in 1930 until he passed away in 1984. And his picture is on all our letters. And we have a letter that he wrote long time ago. He absolutely believed in Santa Claus like we all do, and kept the spirit alive, and brought so much joy to so many children. So he was a wonderful man that really knew how much Santa Claus means to children.
And this is the letter that he actually wrote.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. And he wrote Santa Claus and then put his initial J.Y. We just got a letter the other day. I think it's in our keep box. It said, "Is Santa Kris Kringle or St. Nicholas or Jim Yellow?"
Was that your letter of the day?
Yes.
It could have been.
That's great. Does anybody have a letter that they would particularly like to read that they've received today? Michelle?
We have a pretty funny one here. It says, "Dear Santa, hi. Thank you for filling stockings. Thank you for presents. You tore your hat in the movie. Did you get a new one? Please say hi to all your brown reindeer. Love."
Cute. And you definitely have
Oh,
some.
yeah,
Chris.
I definitely have one. This was quite interesting. It said, "Merry Christmas to Santa. I will not point my Nerf gun at Mom anymore."
Good call.
Very good call. And the next one was very good, too. "I've been a really good girl. I'm going to try harder to poop on the potty." So we're going to have a nice Christmas, okay. Yeah. Oh, and the next one was just from the other day. And they really just wanted money, okay? The money better be genuine, so make sure it comes from an American bank.
That's
And
great.
then probably the last one I thought was, well, not funny, but very poignant. It says, "Please, Santa, help me by paying off my student loans."
Is there anybody else in here that needs their student loans paid off?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll take some of that. So, Emily, can you tell us a little bit about the book?
Sure. The book we're so excited about. The elves have been wanting to do this for a long time. It's a collection of some of the elves' favorite letters over the years. It goes back to the 1930s. Here's the beautiful cover. The 1930s to just up till last year. And so we picked some of the best letters, the most amusing letters, the sweetest letters, the most touching letters, and included them in the book with some history about the town and the elves and the traditions here.
Well, that's cool. Is there a favorite letter that you have from there?
Mrs. Cook has a favorite
Oh,
letter.
definitely.
I'll find it. You want to talk about your favorite letter?
1997.
Good job.
And it is, "Dear Santa, I want my dad to be smarter."
That's all the little boy wanted. There we go.
Yeah, right there. So I have
He
a picture.
wants his dad to be smarter too, not just
Right.
once.
He wants. That's right. You might want to work on it too.
That's great.
There's some really poignant ones in here, some early ones from the 1930s and 40s that talk about World War II and about the Depression, and it's a really neat glimpse at history and kind of what's going on in the
It's
country
really
too
a
at the time.
history. It's such a
It is.
history. You know, the first letter in the book asks for underwear, socks, and gloves, and things that children don't ask for. And then what I noticed would really almost makes me cry. In the first letter, he says our names, and they're 12, 10, 11, 10, 9, the children, right? You know, 1 year, and then it says, "and the others are dead." You know, because children died in those days from whatever.
And these are the actual scans of the letter. They are not.
Yeah.
They're not just typed out, which is very neat to see the handwriting.
The sad ones are, of course, balanced out too with some of the funny ones. There's always good questions from kids, so Dear Santa, for Christmas I want a notebook. By the way, how old are you? How old is Mrs. Claus? Do you go to the bathroom at people's houses? Do the elves work all year? Do you have a kid? Very funny question.
A lot of times they tell us that they're not gonna be home. They're gonna be at grandma's house and give us an address so Santa doesn't miss, or we don't have a chimney, so I'll leave a key by the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of the kinds of letters that you guys have been answering today, Laura and Sarah?
We've been answering the international letters, so we've had a lot from Taiwan, some from Hong Kong, and I think one from Lithuania.
Are they writing in English?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they're all in English. They're all very excited about participating in Christmas tradition, so I'm pretty happy about Santa Claus.
That's cool. Jennifer, can you tell us a little bit about designing the book?
Designing the book was a great thrill for me. So there were so many great letters. My favorite letter is the list of sins, which is 4 pages long and a kind of a Huck Finn character, and talks about putting a snake down his mother's back and she faints. So I always point that one out to everyone when I show them the book. But it was a lot of fun to work on it.
That's great.
Yeah.
And Michelle, you worked on this book a lot too.
Yeah,
Do you recall what your favorite letter was?
there were a bunch of them that I really liked, but I think my favorite was the one from a man who wrote in saying he didn't want anything for Christmas, but he knew his wife wanted some lingerie.
I like that one too.
I think that's more a present for him.
So, Mrs. Cook, are there guidelines as far as how the elves are supposed to respond to children?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
You know, it's a very important job. It really and truly is, because this letter, when this child gets this letter, that will be really important to that child and to their parents. And so we are very, very careful to try to make the form letter fit the child, to personalize it with something that the child said in their letter, so they'll know Santa read it and was aware of what they said. And we're also very careful on the envelope, like this envelope, that we do it down low, so the beautiful cachet that is done by a student from our local high school can be put on the top. If we've got the address up here, it wouldn't show.
I like this.
We're very careful to guard the secrecy of our little children. We don't want the names out. So there are a lot of, you know, we do have it very well organized, and we really take it seriously. It's a very important job.
Now, what do you do in a case where a child is asking for something that you cannot promise?
We have a special letter that says sometimes Santa can't bring you everything you ask for.
Nice.
And we never promise a child anything. We never promise them anything. And that's just not what we do.
And so each year you have a different postmark, correct?
Right.
How long have you been having a different postmark?
Wow. Maybe since the 80s.
Since the 80s? And is it,
1980s.
does someone design them?
A local student, an art student in Heritage Hills High School, which is the local high school.
Okay.
And you can only get the postmark at the Santa Claus post office here in Santa Claus, Indiana. It's a special, unique collector's item, and the one this year is
Yeah.
great.
So you said a lot of people write in just to get the
A lot
postmark.
of people come, actually. Somebody came the other day from Bloomington to get
Just postmark their mail.
That's great.
And we like the letters to come in as early as they can too, because Santa's hard at work already, and so our deadline is December 21st, but the earlier the better to have the letters in here.
Hey, Laura, can you
Yes.
tell me a little bit about some of the letters that you've answered today and what you
I'm
said?
really not like playing on my phone.
No, I know. Laura's helping out. She's putting up the
I was
information
trying
on
to
the
figure
press
out
site.
I was trying to figure out this letter here, if it's a letter, name of a street, or what. So I was looking up the address.
Oh,
so I can
okay.
write back to this chat.
Yeah, some of these letters can be pretty hard to read, given that they're writing, little children are writing in.
But anyway, back to your question about
Yeah.
the.
So what you're
letters.
doing, you're actually Googling to try to find the rest of an address? Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes, I'm trying. I can't read this person's handwriting, so I want to make sure that it goes to the right place. But I've had a lot of interesting letters today, mostly from kids. But I just did one from a teenager, 19-year-old, and it was a pretty sad letter. But it just sounded like this person needed somebody to talk to. So we see a lot of that in the book as well with them. It goes back from adults to children, and there's just all kinds of letters out there. People are happy letters, sad letters. So it was really like touching and moving. I don't want to share too many personal details about it, but I hope that Santa helped that person out. So
Yeah. What about you, Dan? I know you don't have any children yourself, so you've been asking a lot of questions today about how to respond.
Yeah. It's,
Wondering what a
it's
La
not-
La Loopsy is.
Yeah, I
and
don't know
all
what
those
most of
great
these toys
things.
are. You know, they ask for video games. I'm
You
good
good
on
there?
that. I knew that. Yeah, but yeah, it's been very interesting. It's very some kids it's just a list of things that they would like for Christmas, and others are just they're just writing to say hi and be what's the word I'm looking for. Very selfless letters, they're not asking for anything. They're just wanting their family to be happy and whatnot. So
Yeah, and I noticed there's a lot of kids that are writing thanking Santa Claus for presents from previous years. And the other thing I see here, I see some money on the table, and that does not belong to you. Apparently, people mail money. We've gotten a book of stamps today. They're sending in donations.
This comes from a class from Taiwan, and the inside are the children.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that cool?
That is very cool. That's cute.
Oh my goodness.
Creative.
So, Emily, how do you pay for all of this postage?
Well, we have to figure this out.
We rely on donations. The Elves are all volunteers. This is a nonprofit operation, and so we really encourage people to, if they're able to donate. There's no cost for the letters; they're free. But if you're able to make a donation to the Elves, that helps pay for all the postage.
That's great.
I just got a really interesting letter.
I think that
That's
they put the
zip
zip
code.
code
From your grandmother.
Hold on just a second. I'll be okay.
Okay,
You got an interesting letter.
This letter is, the grandmother wrote the letter to Santa from her grandchildren, and they just signed their name because they must be small. It says, "Dear Santa's elves, thank you for answering my grandchildren's letters every year. Evelyn and Arthur dance with joy when they receive your letter in the mail. They are normal, loving, rambunctious, joyful, happy, curious, marvelous, energetic, wonderful children. Evelyn is in 3rd grade. I see her a few days a week and 2 weekends each month. I try to encourage her to read and complete all of her homework. Arthur is in the 2nd grade. I see him every day, and I encourage him to read and complete homework too.
Yes, I need some.
They are loved by their parents and grandparents and extended family. Thank you, Nana." I thought that was really sweet.
What are you going to say?
I guess I'm going to write a letter to Grandma and to Evelyn and Arthur.
Those are all overseas. These are overseas.
So, Emily, what is the saddest letter that you've answered?
Oh my gosh,
Do you remember?
that's a really hard question.
Maybe Ed knows. How many have we answered, Ed?
Pardon?
Where are we on our count?
Where are we right now? I have to have.
You know,
I bet we're 5,000.
We're getting close to it.
we had a letter last year that came from a little boy, and he addressed it to Santa, the letter to Santa on Earth, and wanted Santa to send his grandma back. But if grandma couldn't come back, then to kind of take care of her. And it was just really heartbreaking. And we do see some like that, asking for Santa to watch over people who aren't here anymore.
Yeah.
Do you want a happy example now?
Yes, that would be lovely.
My favorite one last year was from a little girl that said, "Dear Santa, I'm not eating my boogers anymore. Can you please bring me some presents?"
And that one is in the book.
It is in the book, and somebody's mom said, or dad said, "If you don't stop eating your boogers, Santa is not bringing you any presents." I'm sure, because I think I've had that conversation with my kid.
And Steven, what about you? What are you doing today?
Everyone decided that I had appalling handwriting, so I'm sealing and stamping envelopes.
All right, appalling handwriting. How bad is it?
It's pretty bad, yeah. If you've ever seen it, you'd know.
I've seen it. It's
like
I agree,
writing
it's
code.
horrible.
And Emily, is this our male that Mrs. Cook keeps talking about?
This is Ed. This is our male elf.
Hey Ed, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
How long have you been doing this?
How long? Oh, probably about 4 years, full time.
So they call you the male.
MAIL. Yeah.
Well, that sounds fun.
No, I picked.
Do you answer letters, or what exactly
Well,
do you
mainly
do?
what I do is I go to the post office, and all these I hand stamp them.
You hand stamp them.
Yeah, you have to hand cancel every letter
Wow.
with the big stamp. And then I pick up the mail, bring it in, open it.
How many letters do you get every day?
We get one of these bags full, and it's rounded. So
That's a lot.
it's probably, I'd say 500 to 600 a day.
And Mrs. Cook, what's our tally right now as far as how many we've answered today?
I would bet, because we have been doing so well with the people from Indiana University, with our book, that we are probably up to 550, maybe 600, really, probably.
Just today.
Wow, that's great. And
The
this,
first day
so the
we
operation
sent-
runs from December 1st until the 22nd, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, the 21st is really the last day to get the letters to the elves. So
Okay.
the last batch of mail out on the 22nd, and the elves have got to go back to the North Pole.
Is there a lot of scrambling at the last minute to get those letters out?
There can be, which is why we ask people to get them in early, because
Yeah.
it's crazy towards the end. So.
How many people do you typically have in here each day?
It varies.
Yeah.
Some days there are 3, and some days there are 15, and, you know, it's not an exact science. We don't know how many we're getting in,
Yeah.
how many letters
Right.
we're getting. Emily's doing a great job trying to keep track of people that say they're coming, but then they stop in, so, and then maybe somebody says, I'm bringing 9, and 3 could show up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So our goal is to get letters out to the children, and, tonight we have some exchange students, which is really great, because they can do some of the foreign letters.
Oh, that's great.
And that's very nice. They love doing it. So they'll do German and
They'll do, I think we have a student who can do the ones from Taiwan, and we've got a couple who can do Germany, some who can do French, so they can work on some of the letters from France and Switzerland, I think. It helps, for sure.
So, can you tell us about your hat? Everybody here has been admiring your hat. You say it's one of a kind.
well, everybody asks where I got it, and I can't remember. I have no idea. I just know I spotted it somewhere and thought I have to have that Santa hat, and then wore it in a parade one time, and it's been my trademark ever since. And you don't see many of them, which is what I like.
Well, what about your other hat over here?
My other hat is my elf hat, and it's good for migraine headaches because it wobbles back and forth and sings, "We are Santa's elves," blah 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 blah.
Can you show it off for
It's
us?
funny. Yeah, well, I'll try. I need to know where that is, don't I? It's somewhere. It's a bump. It's a bump here somewhere. Here it is.
Some heavy artillery. So, Emily, can you tell us a little bit about coming up with the idea for this project? I understand that the press came to you and asked you about this,
Yeah.
but that it was actually something that you had been thinking about doing for a long time.
IU Press approached us around this time last year, maybe a little bit earlier, and talked about the book and the tie-in to the upcoming bicentennial for Indiana, and so it was perfect timing. The Elves have really wanted to do this for a long time to kind of
70th
share
year.
this collection. Yeah.
70th year.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it was a perfect partnership. So we jumped on the offer and dug through the archives and pulled things together as fast as we can and got the book ready to go for this Christmas season.
And Jennifer, you designed the book. How quickly did you do that?
I don't remember. It was pretty fast.
I remember, yeah, it was very fast.
It was a fast
It was a
turnaround.
quick turnaround time.
It has to be.
Does anybody have any letters they'd like to read?
I have one.
Sarah?
Okay, so I'm answering all the ones from Taiwan. And this little girl, she says that she wants Santa to bring my wish and the gift for me to the children who lose their homes and families because of the war my mom has shared with me on the TV. They're living without love and smiles. I think that I'm so lucky that they are, not me, or I'm not them. It's important to me to be a generous kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Very nice.
I've gotten a few like that too, where they say, please make sure to bring happiness everywhere and make sure all the kids have warm coats. It's really sweet. There are a lot of them that are really nice.
Yeah. Well, where have these letters been stored?
Everywhere. I think Mrs. Cook has had some in her basement, maybe her car for a while. Ideally, they are stored in the archives here at the Santa Claus Museum, but we keep finding more.
I had boxes when my parents passed away. My father in '84, my mother in 2009. They had boxes everywhere, and I found boxes marked Santa letters. And it's like, wow, what is this? And then some of them were really old.
Did you read all of them?
No. But I don't know why they were in boxes. A lot of them, as you see in the book, were addressed to my father because he took special care with a lot of individual cases trying to help people. But I was just really glad to find them, and I think there's still a box around. I think there's a box. I've moved. They passed away, and then I moved out of a big house into a smaller house, and so there may be more. But Emily did a wonderful job of researching and finding. And we were glad we had them. It's good to keep some things. You don't have to keep everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like what we're doing here is throwing letters on the ground. That's pretty fun.
There's a strategy there, though.
There is.
So we do pick them up, and then we shred most of the letters after we've answered them for confidentiality purposes.
So the ones on the ground have been answered.
They have been answered.
Marked with a red check.
It's a red check, and Mrs. Cook has been very adamant that everybody put a red check on the letter and the envelope to make sure that all of these kids get a reply.
And we've got a box in the corner where we are keeping the special letters. That could be Letters to Santa Volume 2. You never know.
Yeah.
We'll see. But, yeah.
We're
picking
hoping
out our
for
favorites.
that. So you're posting right now, you're posting your favorite letter from each day on Facebook?
We are. It's on Facebook, and it's on Twitter, too.
Okay.
So you can check out a letter a day.
Okay. And you are, Twitter, you're at Santa Museum. Gotcha.
Yep.
This one says, "Dear LeBron James, Santa."
Like I think it's corrected by the teacher.
Can you read that out loud?
Dear LeBron James, and I think the teacher is corrected with Santa because I think this is like a classroom thing. I'm Frank. I'm 11 years old. I'm from John Jin Elementary School. I live in I can't read it. In Taiwan. This is my first time writing a letter. I'm so excited. I'm a very good boy this year. Could you give me basketball shoes? My size is 7. May I have souvenirs from the USA? I wish I can be an NBA player. Best wishes, Frank.
And he's looks like on the back of this here he's drawn an American flag.
LeBron James.
Perhaps, yep, and LeBron James.
That could be our letter.
That's pretty. That's a pretty good letter. What's the sword going through the sea? That's interesting.
The Cavs. Cleveland Cavaliers.
Good job, Emily.
Also, he signed for LeBron James, so this is very confusing.
It sounds like you're going to write back to LeBron James.
They're very interested in basketball, and they have decided.
Yes, that's what everybody's been saying. How many of you have answered a letter today that has to do with basketball?
I have several.
Oh, I have one right here.
Yeah? Oh, let's hear it.
My name is Roger. I am from Taiwan. I'm 12 years old. I like to play basketball and baseball. I'm very glad to give you a greeting. I wish you happy every day. Merry Christmas.
Roger. That's nice.
I had someone who wanted to know all about Indiana basketball, and I said that we have many teams and that everyone likes to play it. Sorry.
That was a good answer.
Very excited. I had a letter earlier today that I answered. The child asked for about 7,000 things, and like the very last one was a pencil. So I thought really hard about what do I write here, and I wrote, P.S. Did you run out of lead in your pencil from writing this list?
That's a good one.
I had one that listed about 7 t-shirts, all from basketball teams, like, number 7, the Pacers, number 8, so it was pretty cute. He's a big basketball fan, a big little basketball fan.
Big little.
Michelle, did you say you had another letter?
Oh, this one's pretty cute. I'll just read part of it. This year for Christmas, I would like a real go-kart, but it needs to be small because I am small.
Aww.
And this one is really, they all do this. I've been good this year. I've done the following nice things. I asked nice for water. I worked hard in school, and I helped Mom clean. It's pretty sweet.
Earlier today, I had somebody ask for a chainsaw and then specify that they wanted a toy chainsaw, not a real one.
It boggles the mind, a toy chainsaw.
A toy chainsaw, right? What
I had a request for pretend dolphins.
Pretend
I think Mom
dolphins?
wrote it in. you can have dolphins, but they have to be pretend.
And didn't that one want a cart also?
It's also a small. If you also asked for a cart, and Mom wrote in small.
to hold the dolphin.
And Mrs. Cook, you're very careful to protect the identity of all of these children.
Yes.
So you may have noticed in the book that there are no addresses, no names. It looks like we've got a comment here from Michael Rigoli. He says everybody's looking good. Thanks to Michael.
Yeah, it's very, very important to be very careful with the identity of the children. We try to safeguard that when we have cameras here, and then we shred the letters or cut out the names, because it's just very important. We do that very, very carefully.
And these letters always stay here for the most part. Other except for when they're in your basement.
Those are old ones.
Those are all.
Those are very old.
Those children are adults now. So.
Yes.
Joyce, do you have another letter that you'd like to read?
Well,
Not yet?
I haven't had any really funny ones at all. But,
Emily, can you show me the letters that have been chosen for the last few days as the letter of the day?
I'm going to pull it up.
Okay.
Santa Claus Museum Facebook feed right now. I'll read you today's letter.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, today's letter. Dear Santa Claus, I saw you at church today. My mom heard you say my name, and you haven't even went to my church, so right there I knew it was you. Can I ask you one little favor? Can you send an elf down? It would be nice to have an elf at my house, but if you can't, that's fine. But if you do, please don't tell him to go in my bathroom when I'm out.
Nice.
Thank you for my present. Have a Merry Christmas.
And we got another comment. Everybody loves the hats and the stories here. So, and I brought in a few letters from my kids today. One of them wanted to know if Santa Claus checked to see if she was good or bad on the internet.
Yeah.
And Nancy replied to that. Nancy, do you remember what you said?
I did. I said, oh my gosh, we've absolutely checked and you're on our awesome list. And I put all sorts of stars and hearts around awesome.
And fairly
she didn't even ask for anything. She just wanted to know if she was good or not.
Yeah,
And I
trust me,
told
she
her.
asked for stuff. Maybe not to Santa. So Laura, what are you writing right now?
Well, all of my letters in this batch, they're from brothers and sisters, so there are 3 of them. And
So what do you do when there are multiple letters from a family? Do you write back all in one letter? Do you write separate letters?
So you write separate letters because all the kids need to have their own special separate Santa letter. And you personalize them with the kids' names on it. So I'm writing to them and trying to pick out like one thing that they've written in their letter to make it more personalized to them. So I've got a little postscript at the bottom of it. So this one, this letter, I'm going to write something about this person wants a Batman, or no, sorry, a Spider-Man coat that has a secret pocket. So I'm going to say like that sounds really cool. Like that. So, but the letters themselves, these are all just like lists of all the stuff that
And
they
I
want.
think we have a letter that's very appropriate for the children that ask for multiple things. I think,
Yes.
Jennifer, what does that letter say?
It says Santa can't bring you anything, everything that you want on your
Anything?
list.
No presents for you?
And not can't bring you everything.
Sometimes we cannot give you everything you want.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when my son was like 3, he got one of those
Our
letters.
record, last year we had a child that asked for 80 things.
A child that asked for what?
80.
80?
80 things.
80 things.
That's the record as far as we know. But
Wow.
Today was pretty long, but I don't think it was 80.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
So I have one from another teacher in Taiwan. It's the second one I've had today where it talks about how they wrote a letter last year. Last year I encouraged my students to write a letter to you. They did and got your letter in reply. They were very happy. This year I also encourage other students to do that. I hope you could write them back when you get the letters from Taiwan. Your letter means a lot to them, especially those who write letters in English and send those abroad for the first time. And this also motivates them to learn English and brings them special memories when they're facing the most important entrance exams of their lives. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
That's great.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a few book signings this week, right, Emily? There.
I will be at Indiana Historical Society for the author fair on Saturday.
Is that in Indianapolis?
It's in Indianapolis.
Well, what time is that?
It's at noon to 3
Okay.
Eastern time. And Mrs. Cook will be here. We're having our big book launch this weekend at the museum. So Mrs. Cook will be here signing books, and Mrs. Claus will be here to do a book reading of all of her favorite letters.
Will she be reading from the book?
She'll be reading from the book. She's
Again,
got her
this is here
favorites
the
ready
book.
to go.
Well, that's great. And then you have a few other signings planned.
Do you have an international?
I
Tell
do.
us a bit
I've
about
got
those.
one. It'll be next. Oh, it'll be a week from Saturday. It's in Columbus, Indiana, at Viewpoint Books, and then one at the Bloomington Barnes and Noble also.
Okay, and I think you said those are at 2 and 4. Is that right?
2 and 4.
2 and 4. So 2
We'll
o'clock in
post about it
Columbus
on
and
our
4 o'clock in Bloomington.
page. I think
Okay.
so.
I was a lovely
Sounds
couple.
good.
Yeah, keeping busy. It's good.
I have a good list of somebody who wants a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff. All right, let's hear
Dear
it.
Santa, please bring a monster truck that pops wheelies and a tractor pull that pops wheelies. Mario go-kart with bad and good guys with motorcycle. Box with a picture of a box in quotes of toys dash many. Please bring pajamas and new shirt, underpants, and blue jeans. Bring surprises too.
Underpants, huh? With all
Well,
that other stuff?
that may have come from mom. But make sure that you get many surprises.
That's great. So Emily, is this the original Santa Claus post office that we're in right now?
It is. It's the original post office. It was used in 1856. It's been moved twice, actually, from its original location. It was over at Santa Claus Land as the House of Dolls, and we moved it here in 2011 and had it rehabbed to resemble an old-fashioned post office. So the Elves work back here. It's our headquarters, and then in the front, if you want to see that or check it out later, is where the kids can sit at these antique school desks and write their letters to Santa. And we have a special mailbox that goes straight to the North Pole.
So exactly do you...
So Santa hears the bells ring when they mail the letter.
Nice. So how exactly do you move a post office
On a
building
big truck,
on
a
big
really
truck?
large truck.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. I can't really imagine that. But it
No,
sounds pretty
but
cool.
it's good history. It's worth the move.
Do you want to come out in this other room here and
It was even more
see what we were talking about?
I love the church coming up there.
So this is...
These are elves. Kids can write their letters to Santa here. They can sit at these little desks, and then right behind you, it's our special mailbox. Everybody needs to put their full name and address on the letter so Santa knows where to send it back to. You can drop it in the green mailbox.
What happens if they don't?
Well, the elves would have a harder time finding them to send a response.
Okay.
So,
do you try if there's no return address, or if it's only partially
if it's
there?
partial and if the elves can Google it, then we will be able to put together the address. But it's easier if the whole thing's on there already. So you ring the bells. And there we go. And the elves will pick it up and get to work on it.
That's cool. So this is, you can come in here and sit down at one of these desks. And it looks like they've got like these letters here that you can write in, kind of form letters. Just write your letter to Santa. Emily, can you write a letter to Santa Claus?
Sure.
I would love to see what you want to ask for this year.
All right. Dear Santa, I would like a puppy for Christmas.
You want a puppy?
I do. I have 2 little kids and a dog, but I kind of want a puppy.
I just got a comment, elves use Google too.
They do. They do. Google's very handy. I want a puppy for Christmas, and maybe some college loan repayment.
College loan repayments
I'm
coming.
gonna copy that one too. And I'm gonna put my name on it. And I live here in Santa Claus, Indiana.
What are your kids asking for this year?
Well, they're only 2 and 9 months, so my 2-year-old wants trucks, anything to do with trucks, and I don't think the baby probably needs anything in particular, so she's okay. I'll write a letter for them though. I put my son's first letter in his baby book from the Elves, so I'll do it for my daughter too.
That's cute.
Yeah. All right, and then once I'm done, take my letter. Drop the mailbox.
Awesome.
Yeah. So the post office is here on site at the museum. It's part of a larger complex. The Santa Claus Museum is here, and then the historic Santa Claus Church, which was built in 1880, is also here.
You want to show me the church?
Yeah, we can take a look. It's a beautiful day. Finally stopped raining.
And this is where the book signing is going to be this weekend, right?
It is. So right in this church was also moved to this location on a truck a few years ago.
I can't imagine moving something like that.
No, it was impressive. Up the hill is the original Santa Claus statue. It's been there since 1935. So this is the location of the historic Santa Claus Park and made the perfect spot for our museum and village here. It's
That's pretty
22
cool.
feet tall.
Wow. That's like 4.5 of me.
Yeah, it's a big Santa. We've got all fresh live greens around the site. It smells like Christmas up here. It's so nice. Come on in.
This is cool. Thank you, Miss Zoss. She says it's a beautiful day and a beautiful place.
So we're set up for the book signing and activities this weekend here in the church. We'll have Mrs. Cook at her table. Mrs. Claus will sit up front, and then we're going to have a holiday craft activity too for kids.
And everybody sits here?
Everybody sits in the pews. These are the original pews. They've been repainted a few times, but yeah, it'll be ready to go.
How many people do you get coming to these types of events? I know you have a lot of stuff going on the weekends, even throughout the year, right?
We do, yeah. We try to hold events in the church all year round. Ideally, we fill the church. We can get about 100, 150 people in here. 150 is pushing it, probably 100. We actually have a wedding in here, our first wedding since the building's been located here, and that'll be in 2 weeks. They're going to get married.
Oh, wow.
Here at the church, yeah. On a
Is that
Saturday.
someone that lives in Santa Claus?
No, they're from Indianapolis, actually.
And why did they choose to get married at, do you know?
They love Christmas, and they really like this building, and just that it's small and
A church.
quaint and a church. And
Yeah.
you know, I think it's a good location for them, and they like the live greens. We'll be open to the public still, so people can stop by.
So people can join in their wedding.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
We'll do some storytelling in here on Saturday afternoon also, in addition to the book signing.
Now, is there the Santa Claus, will he be here with Mrs. Claus, or
It's just Mrs. Claus.
Does Santa Claus come around?
He does every once in a while. You never know when Santa's going to show up because he's got a pretty busy schedule this time of year. But Mrs. Claus will be here, and then we have Elves. They will be in the front of the post office all day Saturday and Sunday to help kids write their letters to Santa.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, they're very cheery.
So what else can you tell me about the book?
Well, the book, it was released in October, launched here on Saturday, and it's a project that the Elves have been wanting to do for a long time and are so excited about. Each elf has their favorite letter. We tried to include favorite letters from all of the elves in the book, and as we ask around, I'm sure people can pick them out without even having to look at the page numbers anymore. But the history of the town is wonderful. The story of how Santa Claus got its name is included in the book, and I know we have a lot of visitors ask about that.
So how did Santa Claus get his name?
Well, the story goes...
or its name, I should say.
So let me get settled here. The town used to be known as Santa Fe, Indiana. It was settled by German immigrants, and when they were big enough to apply for a post office in the 1850s, the postal department rejected their name because there was already a Santa Fe, Indiana, a little further north. So the story goes now that the town gathered together in an old church, it was just down the road, and they were debating the name of the town, and it was close to Christmas, and a gust of wind blew the doors open, and the sound of jingle bells were heard, and a child yelled, "It's Santa Claus!" And the town said, "Oh, that's a great name." And so it was. And so the town kept the name Santa Claus, they reapplied, the postal department approved the name, and it has been Santa Claus, Indiana since 1856.
That's great.
It's got a long tradition. Yeah.
So the book's been in a lot of media recently. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
We've had great media coverage. We're so thankful for that. The New York Times just did a piece on it, Huffington Post, Smithsonian Magazine. We've had a lot of print media interest. We've had a lot of news cameras down here. It's gotten some good
today,
press.
was it WTHR that was down here?
Yep, Channel 13, I think, out of Indianapolis was here. They were lovely. They did a really nice feature on the elves and the book. So.
And I think that's supposed to be up on Wednesday.
Oh, good. Okay. The local papers here in the Santa Claus area and southern Indiana area have been super supportive of the book and have run our news releases and have covered the book extensively. So that's been great. We really appreciate the local support. It's being carried here at the museum. You can buy it at the museum. It's at major online retailers, at major bookstores, Barnes & Noble. It's on Amazon.
It's in Hallmark in the
Hallmark.
Indianapolis area.
It is.
And the reason why I know this is because a blogger found her own letter. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. I got a text from a friend of mine who said, "Oh my gosh, you've got to look at this link if you hadn't seen it. This is a few months ago." And I clicked on the link, and it's a blogger she follows on Instagram.
Thrifty Decor Chick. Yes, she's
And
very popular,
she's
apparently.
super popular.
She's got like over 100,000 Facebook followers.
Yeah, and my friend was like, just follows her and gets some, decorating tips. And the Thrifty Decor Chick was in a Hallmark.
Her name's Sarah, by the way.
Sarah. Sarah was in a Hallmark.
In case you don't want to keep saying Thrifty Decor
That's
Chick.
a lot harder. Sarah's easier. Sarah was in a Hallmark And I think she was standing at the checkout desk from what I gathered from her post, and she saw the Letters to Santa book, and she picked it up and kind of paged through it, and she stumbled across her own letter that she had written to Santa Claus, which is crazy. Like, I don't know what the chances are. Anyone picking up the
like
book
1
and
in a
then
trillion.
finding her letter, right? And so she found her letter, and she did a whole post about the book, and she really liked it, and she was so excited that her letter was in there. And so that's one of the first times we've actually had somebody come back and say, like, oh my gosh, that's my letter.
Well, that's cool.
It's been really neat. Yeah.
You said somebody, you posted one of the letters of the day, and somebody wrote
We
on
did
there
our
that
first
it was
letter of the
theirs.
day. A little girl named Josie wrote a really sweet letter, and we put it on our Facebook page, and I think it was her mom, wrote in and said, oh my gosh, thanks for picking my daughter's letter. So you should keep checking our social media posts, because your letter might appear this year. And we're very careful to make sure there's no identifying information. It's just the letter and the sweet messages in them.
That's cool. Do you want to show us the museum?
Yeah, I'd love to. Absolutely. The light's getting a little dark in here.
I know.
I will let you out. Get a shot of the post office there.
Post office is pretty cool.
It's cold today in Santa Claus. It's feeling Christmassy.
That's appropriate.
Who knows? Maybe it'll snow.
I want to check out the statue,
Sure,
actually.
yeah, absolutely.
So you said this is what, 22 feet?
22 feet tall. It's concrete. It was made at a foundry in Chicago and shipped down here by rail in 1935. And it's been there ever since.
I hear bells.
I think it's you. I think you're jingling all the way. The statue is dedicated to the children of the world. I think you can see them in the base up there. And it's lit up at night, so it's really pretty if you drive by here in the evening. Santa's lit up here on the hill.
Michael sends some love.
Hi, Michael.
So it's a little difficult
kind of
with
a
the
hike up the
light
hill.
and the hill, but you should be able to see here. This is dedicated to the children of the world in memory of an undying love. This is December 25th, was it 1936? 35. So who was Carl?
Carl Barrett was the businessman and philanthropist who was from Chicago, who came down and commissioned the statue as part of a larger Santa Claus park. That was kind of his vision for the town at that point. This was some of the earliest tourism efforts in the 1930s, so that's why we picked this location for our museum.
That's cool. What else is there to do in Santa Claus?
Oh my gosh, so much to do with Santa Claus this time of year. The first 3 weekends of December are the Christmas celebration, and the Spencer County Visitor Bureau actually has a website, santaclausind.org. They've got an event guide that will list all of the events all through town, including those here at the museum. The Christmas store has a lot of things going on. There's the town parade, Santa's Candy Castle up the road. I think they do chestnuts roasting on an open fire. So lots of Christmassy activities, and you can find out all that information too in one place, which is great. I'm winded from walking down that hill.
I know, that was a tough hill.
We decorated our tree just the other day, a little elf tree.
And I think you could use some candy canes there.
I know, probably. Birds might use.
They might all get stolen by children.
So we're open 6 days a week right now. Visitors can stop by Tuesday through Sunday, and we've got the elf operation going 7 days a week though, so it's pretty busy.
So what exactly is in the museum?
The museum is the history of the town of Santa Claus. The story of Santa Claus Land and Holiday World, how the town got its name. This is our museum assistant, Kelly.
Hello. Hello, Kelly.
How are you?
We're good.
You're live broadcasting.
Checking out, yeah, we are live broadcasting. She's super happy about
Merry
that.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
We got a display of letters here, a few of which are in the book. These, again, go back to the 1930s, some of the elf favorites, and we are so happy that the book's out because it can kind of reach an audience who maybe can't make it here to the museum.
Here's Santa Claus. I want a cowboy suit and boots with spurs, with guns and holster and chaps and hat with scarf holder.
Louise Hinkle would like a pair of nylon stockings in 1940.
So what's your funniest letter or your favorite from an adult?
Oh, from an adult.
Love good art there. I like the elephant
There's
letter.
a lot of good art. This one, let me find it. It's probably not an adult, but it's an older child who wrote about global warming.
Global warming.
But she She wasn't great at spelling, probably. She was spelling a lot phonetically, but I love that she was so concerned. I hope you were warned about global warming. I hope you're fighting against it. At dinner, I asked my mom, and she said it was a glacier. She said they were melting. I hope that the animals do not die.
I think this letter's in the book too.
I think I'm telling you, we picked our favorites. One of my favorites from last year from an adult, actually. Oh, this is the one from Earth that I was talking about.
Santa, Earth. Make a note.
I love this one. Dear Santa, don't worry about me this year. I already have what I want, and she's standing right next to me.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Good points.
Yeah, that's a good couple.
Yeah. So we've got a blank page here, ready for the 2015 letters.
2015?
Yeah. First room covers the early history of the town. Here's like the application for the post office from 1856. You can see they kind of crossed out, choose another name other than Santa Fe or Fee, so they crossed out. Here we had Santa, it started out actually Santa Claus with an E.
Ah.
The postmaster who signed off on it was named Nicholas. Nice Christmas
That works
connection.
out well.
It does.
So, do you have a collection of the postmarks?
The special Christmas postcards, we don't.
Okay.
Although people who want to see them could go to the actual Santa Claus post office in Kringle Place Shopping Center, and they've got a framed display of some of those.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I think they actually might be online too. This is all early history. In the 1920s, Ripley's, believe it or not, ran a feature on the town. James Martin, the postmaster, who started the tradition of helping Santa answer the letters, was featured.
Did that increase the volume of letters?
Dramatically increased the volume of letters, and kind of following that event, the community started pitching in and helping out. That's how Mrs. Cook's dad, Jim Yellig, got involved and started the tradition really of the community groups helping Santa and becoming elves.
That's great. What's this?
That was the typewriter that was used by postmasters Martin and Phillips in the 30s and 40s.
So did they type all of their responses?
I don't think they typed all of the letters. I think it was also just post office work.
Is there anything else in here you want to show me?
The history of the statues up here. These are some pictures of the early Santa Claus Park. So here it is just with the statue, and there's a flagpole and a souvenir stand and a wishing well. And then some early images of the town of Santa Claus too.
Do you think we should go back and check on our elves?
We should probably check on the elves to make sure we're not getting crazy.
What's going on there?
Bye, Kelly.
Bye.
Bye, ladies. Did you see my Santa's elf sweatshirt?
I did see that.
We're selling this sweatshirt in the museum gift shop. It's new this year.
I think I'm going to get one.
Santa's elf sweatshirt. It's official.
I got one of the shirts that said I believe for my son last year.
Those are good ones too.
He's 8, so
Oh.
I'm fairly certain that the shirt is what's doing it for him.
Is he pretty excited about Santa visiting?
Yes. Yeah. His letter was a little less clear than some of the others. He did a lot of drawings that he thinks other people will understand.
Oh.
Thankfully, I was able to tell the elf.
That's good. Elves are pretty good about translating things too.
They have to be. A lot of these letters are.
Hi there. Hi there. Back to work up here.
Back to work. Back to work.
Hi. Mary Ellen Morgan working in cards someplace.
What are you looking for, sir? I'm sorry?
Mary Ellen Morgan.
So, how's it going in here, guys?
Good.
Good.
Yeah? You got any cool letters since I was here? I thought you might, Michelle.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Okay, so this one is from Rebecca. She says, "Hello, Happy New Year, and all I want for Christmas is a new dad and some flowers for my mom."
Yikes.
At the end, it says, "P.S. The last one failed the parents' test."
Ooh. I wonder what kind of test that is.
Yeah. And then another boy is going to be quite the politician. On one side, he says, "What I want for Christmas," and he has 8 items. On the other side, he says, "What I will do to make the world better,"
Oh.
which includes becoming president, helping his family, donating toys to kids without them, and helping all other people.
I like his shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
So, Dan,
I did, but I sealed them up, unfortunately.
You sealed them up?
I should have saved them back, but
Do you remember anything about them?
Yeah, there was a kid who was like who wished for Santa to be safe on his trip, and also for an uncle to be relocated from Florida jail to Ohio jail. So yes, I thought that was I thought that was pretty selfless. Yeah, good kids, 3 of them. So. Yeah.
What about you, Nancy? You look like you're dying to read something out loud.
This little guy didn't ask for anything, and I think this is something I see a lot. They just want to be sweet to Santa. It says, "Dear Santa, please bring me." Well, he did say, "Please bring me spike." Sorry, but I have been really busy decorating our Christmas tree today so that it's beautiful for you on Christmas Eve. If you go in the chimney, be careful. The fire might be burning. What are your favorite kinds of cookies? And what do your reindeer like to eat? Merry Christmas, Santa. A lot of them like cookies and want to know Santa's very favorite cookies.
A lot of them say hi to Mrs. Claus too, and the reindeer.
And they want to know how Rudolph is doing.
And they want to leave cookies and carrots, and they want Santa to know. Somebody said that they wanted to leave Santa some delicious cookies, and I said that he prefers Oreos. So.
Who doesn't?
I think it's pretty fun answering the letters too, in addition to reading them.
This one is also pretty good. It says, "Can you please tell Santa to get me the Indominus Rex," with a picture, which is a dinosaur from the movie.
That's great.
Okay, I'm taking off the antlers.
You're taking off the antlers. Did I hear you talking about something over here that was folded up?
Oh,
Wonderful. You're gonna show her.
Okay, so this one came from Taiwan, and it's illustrated in a dress. You turn it over, it says "Merry Christmas," and then it unfolds, fully illustrated with a lovely letter.
Wow.
It took a lot of time and detail right there.
Definitely. Are you gonna give her a cell phone?
Probably not.
No.
Though
Hopefully someone will.
Though if she keeps illustrating, she might be able to earn enough for a cell phone on her own.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Very cool.
That's a keeper. There's really
How are your letters, Laura?
I had a good one this time. So this one says, "Dear Santa Claus, if Elvin is real, does that mean when I'm not in the room or asleep, my other toys move? By the way, do you have an elf named Twinkle? That's my friend Amelia's elf. Please tell him or her that Amelia bought cute clothes for him or her." I guess it doesn't know if it's him or her. "Can I please have an iPhone for Christmas? My biggest or top 3 gifts are a kid motorcycle, phone, and a new Nintendo DS. I hope you have a great trip around the world. Love, Haley." And so I use the letter that says that Santa cannot give you everything that you want, because I don't know if this kid can get a motorcycle and a phone and a new Nintendo DS, but hopefully they'll get one of their top 3 gifts.
Yeah. Now, Emily and Mrs. Cook, over time, do you see the letters changing?
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, the wishes change, I think, certainly every year. You can always get a good sense for like what the hot toy is of the current Christmas season. But yeah, as you read the book, for sure, and look at some of the displays in the museum, you can really see how the handwriting has changed over time, or the wishes have changed over time, and that kind of thing.
Do you think the kids are asking for more?
Probably on the whole, they're asking for more than they were. You know, I think it was more typical of letters in the 30s and 40s to ask for maybe 1 or 2 or 3 things. Whereas now I'd say the norm is like a list of 10 or 15 things even, but you know, that's not all the time. It just varies a little bit from kid to kid.
Yeah. Okay. Look like they would be from the same place. Taiwan City, Taiwan.
Sarah?
This little boy, Henry in Taiwan, he wants to go to Oktoberfest. Really wants to see Germany. And he's very happy because it's sunny and it's a beautiful day and he likes to play baseball this way. Not basketball, baseball.
So is this actually was that letter addressed to Santa Claus, Indiana, or did it come addressed to the
It's just
North
Santa
Pole?
Claus, Indiana, and the zip code in USA. That's all.
So people clearly know about Santa Claus, Indiana
Yes.
across the
Yes.
world.
Particularly in Taiwan, yes.
And Joyce, you said you volunteer here every day, is that?
Yeah. Well, during During the summertime, I'm here also, not necessarily with, doing letters, although we get them all the time, and
You get letters in the summer?
we get letters in the summer, we try to answer them, but when I'm working the desk in the museum, I have maybe an hour to work on those letters, and then people start coming in, so you gotta hurry up and shove the letters and don't let people know. You know, 'cause you keep the mystery going. Okay, so yeah, I'm a regular volunteer here too. So, but during the Christmas season, for sure 9 to 4, about Monday through, and then the weekends that Santa Claus is celebrating Christmas, I'm here on those weekends too because we have special things going on. A special storyteller that also comes in October and does a great story, and it's a participation story where she draws everybody out of the audience to actually play the parts. So, and then she does it for Christmas also. So, yeah, you know, before we actually had a place to answer letters. We go to Pat's house and sit around the table, and we would answer letter upon letter upon letter. Yeah.
We have a comment here that is amazing.
We did them when we had the museum material, just the things that are down there, over at next to the Christmas store in an area, and then they wanted that footage, they wanted to use it for ornaments, so we moved out and got this. But then we went to my house. I don't know how many years we came. I just leave that door open and people come in and answer.
For years and years, yeah.
I think they wanted to see my house. They came to do like
whatever
two
works.
letters and
They should have put a minimum on it, like you didn't want the door 50 letters per person.
So when you have visitors out there, do you keep this door open or closed?
No, we keep it closed.
You keep it closed, so they don't know who's back here.
Right? Yeah, because we've got that elves are busy at work. So on weekends, when
do you ever have anybody try to break in?
Sometimes we lock the door. Sometimes because you get kids, they're fast. You know, they want to. But I think by and large, they're also worried about disturbing the elves. Like, what if they're back there? You don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, not get any presents.
Yeah, don't jeopardize your Christmas.
No, they don't want to jeopardize anything coming from Santa.
And
So-
we be very careful to say that Santa comes by, which really he did last year.
Yeah.
And they
several
get really
times.
excited when Santa
Yeah.
comes by. But we're helping Santa because he's so busy, you know, getting toys ready and getting the reindeer ready and he has to rest up, so we help him.
Somebody wants to know what the summer letters that you receive are asking for. Are they different from the letters that you get closer to Christmas?
No.
They're just prepared.
No, right.
It's whatever they think of at the time that they really want.
Yeah.
This is
We always tell them that you,
This is one I'm still
you know,
working
change your mind or.
Oh, they're the same.
So you write back to them then, and you essentially say, like, if you change your mind, write us again.
You know, the elves only respond during the month of December. So
Okay.
if you send a letter in the summer, we'll keep it and we'll hold on to it until the elves are available to respond in December. So
Okay.
it might be a few months to get a response, but they will write back.
And it's mainly because of the letters that are going out are going to get the special cashmere stamp, which, as Mrs. Cook had said earlier, is actually designed by one of our high school seniors, a senior from last year. Okay.
Right, I believe
They've already
she's
had
an
their
Indiana
contest.
University student this year.
Yeah, they've had their contest for this year.
Oh, this is another.
And so it, by the time that particular artwork is put on the letter, the child's already in college. Okay.
So it's always a senior.
Yeah, it's a senior from, you know, it takes a while to get things going, but the contest this year was in like September and October. And it's very complex. You have to have that absolute certain size, and you have to have the fact that it's Santa Claus Station on there. And, you know, each year it's amazing. You inside the post office, you can see some of the years past, and each one of them's different. I mean, the kids come up with something different all the time. but yet each one of them has the special information on it that has to be on there.
And we just had somebody ask what address to send letters to. Can you tell us, is it the P.O. Box 1?
It is.
Santa Claus, Indiana. And what's the zip code?
47579.
47579.
donation.
And you may
And Pat loves when you include donations.
Us stamps. Us
For
stamps.
postage.
So today, how much do you think you've gotten today? Like, probably like $20?
maybe $20.
Maybe $20. I don't remember that.
Every bit
And are
helps.
you using the proceeds from this book for postage? Did I hear?
Absolutely.
That's what you're using it for.
Yep. The proceeds from the book, all, it's a great use of a book about the letters. The money we make from it goes back into helping us continue that program.
Right. So you guys are an official nonprofit under the name Santa Claus Museum and
Yeah,
Village.
Santa Claus Museum and Village. We are take it off your taxes, tax deductible gift. And there's information always on our website too. It's santaclausmuseum.org.
Okay. And that's got a list of your events as well.
Sure does. Yep.
Nancy, you got anything going on?
I just wanted to say too, it's amazing how many letters come in with nothing on them except maybe Santa Claus, North Pole, no postage, things you can't even really read, and the postman brings them here because everybody loves Santa Claus. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Stephen, are you getting tired of pulling stamps off? And
I think I'm probably going to be going for workman's comp too.
Yeah.
Elfman's comp.
Elfman's comp.
I like that.
Funny. So how many letters do you think you've stamped today?
Those ones.
Those ones. All by hand.
All by
Are you
hand.
sealing those too?
Yep.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
But you're not licking those
I am
envelopes.
not licking them, no.
I think we heard there were 700 today,
There-
right?
that is the
700
rumor, there is
letters, and
700.
that was just after we came back from lunch,
Yeah.
so we're working hard.
Somebody says there's a miracle in Santa Claus, Indiana. I would agree.
Yep, I would agree.
Yeah, sometimes I think it's a miracle when we get done, actually. On December 22nd.
Yeah. So what do you do after that? Do you like fall on the floor and collapse? Yeah, exactly.
Go back to the North Pole and help Santa with all of his presents. So.
Well, I finally clean house and do my Christmas cards.
So your friends are getting your cards like after the New Year.
What cards?
Or what cards? There you go.
What cards?
Just switch over to e-cards.
So do you ever get any letters, speaking of e-cards, over email?
We don't take them over email.
No.
We started that one year when we were in the other location, and it became so impersonal. It was like an address and a name, and we knew nothing about the child. We knew nothing about the family.
And you don't get to see the
I just
cool
felt
stuff.
like the child or someone in the family should write a letter. And
Yeah.
it was, you know how many we got? Oh, I don't even know. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Did you write back all of those people
tried,
that?
and we got completely overrun. So we said no emails. You know.
It's from the older girl.
We want them to write, thank God. We
Yeah.
hope.
Well, it's also nice to see the writing. You get to see the handwriting change. The letters are pretty unique. A lot of them have drawings on them.
So Mandy, another really important issue is how Santa gets in your house if you don't have a chimney.
Yes.
So here's the story.
Did you find a key?
Yes.
I thought you might have.
This is the story of one Christmas Eve. Dear Santa Claus, I hope you will bring me a puppy and a bed for it so it could sleep in it. On Christmas night, me and my nanny, Papa, and my Uncle Jason and my mommy will set some chocolate chip cookies and some milk in a glass and maybe some chocolate mint cookies. I will put out a magical key to open our door because we don't have a chimney. I will write a list so that you can get me the stuff on Christmas night on Christmas Eve.
That's great.
Yeah. Because it's important because not everybody has a chimney now. So.
So what do you think is the most common letter that you get? And I know you get a lot of the letters asking for keys.
Wish lists. I mean, probably a lot of them are
Just lists?
lists. I like it when there are questions. I mean, those are the sweet ones.
Fun ones, yeah.
I think they almost all mention if they've been good or not good.
Well, I like the ones, there's like a form letter, I don't know if it's from here or another, like you can print out online, but it says, have you been naughty, nice, or a little bit of both. And so I had some that circled a little bit of both.
Right.
We have a comment from Chris. He says that some of the letters are sad. Do you see a lot of that?
We don't see a lot of that, but we do see more than we wish we would see.
Yes.
We do. We see letters from parents who aren't able, perhaps are incarcerated, want us to send a letter to their child. I think probably the one that really always gets me the most is when somebody says, I'm living with daddy, I wish I could see mommy. Or I'm living with mommy, or I'm living with grandma, I wish I could see my mommy and daddy, and things like that. That's really hard.
Yeah.
And, you know, Santa can't make it well, but we can send a letter. And then there are some, you know, especially the foreign students in China and Japan are asking us to help them get through their exams. And their exams are really hard. So it's very important to them to pass their exams. And for some reason, Santa seems the person that they write to. We get some that, you know, they're wanting a girlfriend or a boyfriend, or they feel like it's amazing. But there are sad letters. There are.
So you get a decent amount of letters from adults. Do you think
Yes,
that
we
the
do.
adults believe in Santa Claus, or are they doing it for fun, or what do you see there?
I think they believe. I think they believe that somebody will be helping. Something will happen that'll be good out of this. You know, I think we all don't stop believing.
Yeah, that's your motto, I hear.
Yeah. So I think for whatever reason they believe somebody, and that what is Santa Claus but spirit.
Somebody says, of
But
course
the
they
spirit,
believe
you
he's
know,
real, duh.
So I think they do.
Yeah.
I got one from two young women who tried to go visit Santa at the mall, and everyone made fun of them. So they said, my wish is that Mr. Claus would write back and let us know that it's okay to believe in Christmas. So,
Yeah, well, it definitely is.
Yep. I told him that Santa likes children of all ages.
Yeah. Whether or not or Saturday, it could be a Friday.
Mandy,
Yes.
I have one from Chris, who's a PhD student in Taiwan, and he says, Santa, you lighten my boring research life. Thank you very much. That's a keeper. Doing what we can, Chris. I told him good luck with his studies.
I see your friend there, Jennifer, has asked how things are at the North Pole.
Yes, he says, I hope things are holly jolly. I would like to have a cot.
A cat, I believe
cat?
that says.
No, it's C-O-T. I don't know.
I
Maybe
think
it
the
is
spelling on
aggressive.
some of these are.
PlayStation 4, Lego Marvel game, Lego movie game, MP3 player. Thank you, Santa, and Merry Christmas. But down here it says, or our dog would like a blanket and a coat.
Poor dog.
Mrs. Cook, I just had somebody ask if you pray together.
If what?
If you pray together, the elves.
Oh, sure we do. We pray.
Well, yeah, we have always done that at the beginning of every season. And before every board meeting, we have prayer for the Santa Claus Museum Board of Directors. So it's just natural.
So Emily, I see you're licking your envelopes. That
I forget.
That
I
sounds
get, like,
kind of gross.
I get into the groove, even though Mrs. Cook is over here and other people with the envelope lickers. I get in the groove and I just keep going. It's like a machine.
It is. You just don't stop.
I know. I dream about these sometimes. But I'm doing these in my sleep.
That's great. Michelle, what you got? Let's see you open up
Same
one.
one, yeah.
This is a good one?
That's the one I read earlier about the T-Rex.
Ah, okay.
Okay. Hi, my name is Emily, and I am 2.5 years old. I've been a very nice girl this year. I would like a bike and a baby for Christmas.
A baby?
My dog lady would also like a treat.
Well, my husband is watching this.
I'm sorry to whoever is commenting in another language, but I cannot read that.
Is it French? I might be.
German. It looked
I can
maybe
manage.
Japanese, but it's disappeared from my screen already. So
I
Oh, what's that, Nancy? That is very large writing.
Well, this is a future IU Press reader, I'm pretty sure, because her list is My Little Pony books and Bug books. And she also wants makeup and My Little Pony board games. So I think we have to hook her up with our IUP pony somehow.
So yeah, we need to start publishing books about ponies.
I think that's critical. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, actually, I've had a lot of kids ask for My Little Pony stuff.
My Little Ponies.
That's for Shopkins. That's like the
And
big one.
Shopkins. And there we have Dan again with our children wanting to know what Shopkins are,
Lots
what
of
Lala
letters.
Loopsies are.
A lot of letters with Shopkins.
What have you seen today that you don't know what it is besides Shopkins and Lala Loopsies?
Let's see.
Can you remember?
I've seen some of those. Let's see. Honestly, the Shopkins is probably. I've seen Shopkins and variations on Shopkins. So I'm not sure if that's the same thing, just spelled differently, or
I think the
if
kids just don't know how to spell.
That's understandably so. I don't know. We can check out this next letter here. I don't know.
I've seen a lot of people asking for Minecraft and iPhones.
Well, see, I know what those things are.
Yes, I know you do.
Oh, a zippy sack dog?
A zippy, a what?
A zippy sack?
Oh, I can't say that I know what a zippy stack dog is either, though. I did have a group of kids all send letters from the same family, and one wanted a pink iPhone, one wanted a green iPhone, and one wanted a blue iPhone. So,
nice.
Yeah, at least they're consistent with what they're asking for.
That's right. Well, I mean, you have to figure that Santa probably has a cache of these iPhones.
Yeah,
someplace,
yeah.
right?
Mandy, I have one that has some really good questions.
Some really good
It
questions.
has a really good question. This little girl is 5 years old, and she's very sweet. She says, "Thank you, Santa, for all the love that you give. Thank you for being nice to others. I like to give to others, too. Number one on my list really is getting my ears pierced. I put it at number 5, but it's my number 1 wish. I love all my family near and far, and I love you, too. I can't believe you deliver all those toys without taking a bathroom break. Good luck, and thank you for all you do."
No bathroom breaks. So.
Where does Santa, you know?
Yeah,
that's
that's a good question. I think Santa's magic. He probably just doesn't have to go to the bathroom ever.
Probably.
Could be.
If you can go down a chimney, you probably.
Yeah, I mean, if you can weigh like 300, 400 pounds, fit down a chimney. Like, you don't really need to worry about the bathroom.
Right.
Also, you can get around the entire world in one night. Yeah,
Right.
It's pretty impressive too.
Thanks for that good answer. Yeah.
Is that what you're gonna write?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to be of service. What have you got, Michelle?
I have a list of all the things, which include Puppy Surprise, Skylanders with a picture of which Skylanders.
Ah,
Oh, nice.
the
American
pictures
Girl
are always
doll
great.
with the picture of the right doll. Wipeout Chicken.
That's very creative.
Wipeout chicken, huh?
And then Strand Bands.
A picture list. She got.
Well, it's a good thing that we're not supposed to promise anything to anyone. We don't know exactly what we're promising. Oh,
Wow.
Joyce got a list that is. Can we stretch this out here?
Keeps going and
This keeps going and going. Yeah.
I like the model.
They've
The Nerf gun.
It's a little over a yard, and they have cut out pictures from magazines of things that they want. We've got a Nerf gun. We've got something
Car.
that lights up, maybe, a
Trucks.
car, a demolition
Dartboard.
dartboard, cars, more cars. Oh, there we go. Star Wars. Star Wars is going to be pretty popular this year. This just keeps going.
Rubik's Cube,
That keeps giving.
little snow globes.
Snow globes are fun.
I think that it's to make your own snow globe, I believe.
And that letter came from Illinois, it looks like.
I'm sure the kid will be there.
Yep.
So, Emily, you're answering another one from Taiwan.
I am. I'm working through the Taiwan stack. We have a huge number of letters from Taiwan.
Is it that many from Taiwan
There's
every
not,
year?
not a
We get a
word,
lot from
it's all
Taiwan.
pictures.
It's not a word, just all
No word.
pictures.
Germany, we get a lot.
Except for the name, okay?
Japan.
To Santa from, I won't say.
The ones from Taiwan and Japan tend to be, and you want to get them out early because it takes. There's always Japan, yeah.
And I think the book has 1 or 2 letters in it that are in Braille.
Yep.
Is it common to receive those, and do they always have the translation?
I haven't seen
Have you seen any this year?
It's
No.
been, not in the last few years, no, we did have one, oh gosh, probably 6, 7 years ago maybe. It was typed in Braille. And the mother or somebody had written words underneath the type of the little dots. So we weren't able to answer in Braille, but we did send it for someone to read it to them. Yeah, we did have, matter of fact, we kept it for a long time. I don't know what happened to it, but we did keep it.
And Jennifer, what's the weirdest thing you've seen today?
The letters?
Yes.
Just in general. I don't know.
With the elves, with the letters.
Because the dancing hat.
The dancing hat. Yeah, we do love that hat.
Oh, for sure.
What about you, Laura? Have you seen anything extraordinarily strange besides your sweater?
Yeah, besides my sweater, yeah. No, not really. Everything's been pretty normal. Just big long list of things. I guess the one thing was I had the list, then it was like the whole page was filled with kids, the things that the kids wanted for Christmas, so they're not going to get everything.
And these for Stephen, too late.
There you go.
That's a cool one.
Long list, which at the end includes people taking care of the world. Also science toys. And a doctor, and a reindeer. And a slime factory.
I've seen a lot of Project MC Square Lab from girls, which apparently is something where you make makeup, you use science to make makeup and to make jewelry, and I guess it's a way to get girls into science. Yeah, young age. So we're looking, we've got a lot more letters on the floor here that have been answered.
Yeah, there's no way I can do mine because it's early. We know.
So Emily, you said that you're considering doing a Letters to Santa Claus 2 already?
You never know. I don't know. Something to think about.
Yeah. How's Letters to Santa Claus 1 doing?
I think it's doing really well, from what I hear from our lovely and talented editor and publisher, Candy.
Well, that's great. Good to hear.
We can always sell more copies.
May I have the scissors from down there, please?
But we'll have to charge you for them.
Thank you.
We'll charge a rental fee.
Sorry. All right, right, and I owe you.
Ask for anything, they just do a picture.
That person loves Santa.
$1
Did they write their address?
The address is on the outside of the envelope.
That's good.
But you did ask me if there's something strange or unusual. I guess the
Oh,
3 or 4 letters I've done. It's been from somebody named Caitlin, but different Caitlins.
Different Caitlins. Were they all spelled different?
Yes.
Lots of Caitlins. Now the glue.
Speaking of names, what kind of names have you guys seen here today?
Now here's an interesting one. Please join me, guard horseshoe crab, so that more people love horseshoe crab.
What does that mean?
Like the pet? Like a horseshoe crab?
Or like to eat?
Little guy?
I don't know.
I like to eat on a horseshoe crab.
I think they're little.
I don't know.
No, horseshoe crabs are those big brown
Oh,
ones.
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Libulous hope could be happy living in every corner.
Huh.
Don't know. Don't know. Don't know what that means.
So have we seen any interesting names here today?
No, we had
Names of children?
Names of children, yeah. Anything? Somebody, who was it? Mrs. Cook, you said that you had in October.
Yeah, October.
I didn't think that was that unusual, since Laura has a friend named September.
Rogan?
Somebody
Rogan?
said they had a name like
Rogan?
Internet.
Yes, that's right. That was the one that I heard. I was trying to think
Someone's
of.
name was Internet?
Someone's name was Internet.
Interesting.
Yes. Anybody want to guess why their name was Internet? My theory is that it was an online romance.
Oh, I see. How we got together.
Yeah, that's just a guess.
Now, has anyone discussed like sometimes these letters can't be answered because there's no address?
I'm sure you point out that Santa also loves.
No, we haven't really talked about that. We have run across some of those today.
Yeah, I've got one right here actually. The letter's really nice. I mean, they clearly took some time. Lots of different colors and whatnot, but there's no return address,
No
so we
return
can't.
address.
So we won't be able to answer the letter. But
Dear Santa Claus, I have been a good girl. She's been brushing her teeth, making her bed, and taking care of herself. She wants Shopkins and bath toys for when she takes care of herself.
right, yeah.
Rogan, that's a name I don't know. But...
Spent some time on it.
And on
but
the
yeah.
other side, it looks like she started a letter that wasn't good enough, so she went to letter. It's unfortunate. Jennifer, what do you have?
It just says P.S. on the back. My mom has been naughty, but a little nice.
That's good. So I'm gonna open up a letter here, see what I get. Hi Santa. I hope your elves are making some cool toys for lots and lots of other people, but I would like you to make lots more for my family. And I want Jurassic World sets because they ran out, but they're making more, and the movie The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3. And some more stuff about dinosaurs, kind of hard to read, Gingerbread House, and Lego Magazine. I'm assuming magazine, if that's what that's supposed to say here. So what other countries have you guys gotten today, Sarah and Laura?
All these are, for the most part, in Taiwan, Hong Kong. I had a couple. That's mainly it.
Lithuania.
Lithuania?
There's a whole box of Lithuania.
I think the one that's snuck into this box. Sneaky Lithuania letter.
She decorated envelopes.
Oh,
I love Santa. That's sweet.
Very cute. So how many have we run across today that we're saving?
I've got
Probably 10, maybe 10 to 12.
From the 12 bar?
Yeah.
So you save each year a couple hundred? Okay.
Yeah, and it varies from years past. I mean, there's more from recent years, obviously, than there are from the 30s and 40s. But, you know, we might have a lot for some reason from 1976, but, like, not very many from 1962. I don't know. Just
Those
depends
kids weren't as cool.
on what they were saying. Or who was working and saving them, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, well, I think we're going to sign off here. If everybody want to say goodbye.
Bye.
Happy holidays.
Thanks, everybody. And once again, we are here answering letters in Santa Claus, Indiana. And these letters, you can find a lot of them from the last 80 years in this new book from IU Press, Letters to Santa Claus.